Well, here I am again, folks, and the world is still a fucking mess. I don't know what to tell you. I'm getting really upset about all this stuff about defunding the police department, which I think would be a big mistake. I think talking about it plays into Trump's hands. And the fact that, it's all about the black-white issue. I mean, the biggest issue in this country, the longest-running racial issue in this country, the one that's gone back to before we were a governed country, before we were just a territory, sort of, is the American Indian, and how they've been neglected, and how they've been beat on. Well, yeah, they've got their casinos and everything. In order to be part of a casino, you have to prove you're 20% Indian, okay? 1/5 Indian. Alright, you do that, you can get a license. And then you can employ whoever you want. You don't have to employ Indians, you can employ the mob. You can employ professional gamblers, which is what they do, because they don't know anything about the gaming industry. So they're not gaining, they're gaining some, but they're not gaining a whole lot. They've sold oil leases for pennies, a one-shot deal. You say you spend $50,000, you get $50,000 for your oil rights, okay? In perpetuity, which means that as long as that thing's pumping oil at $100 a barrel or $50 a barrel, whatever it is, you're not going to get any more money. The people who are doing it, the drilling and whatnot, they're the ones that are going to get the money. So the Indians get screwed at every left and right turns. Do I believe that black people have had it bad? Yeah. I mean, I studied sociology. I studied it in real life. I lived in a neighborhood that was predominantly black. My mother was an assistant secretary to a black mayor. That was the life back then, My mom taught me the best thing she could have taught me was, judge people by the way they treat you, not by what the color of their skin is, And believe me, there were a lot more white assholes back then than there were black ones, okay? Most of my friends in high school were black, I don't know what that had to do with me or anything like that, but that's just the way things turned out. Now you have the Hispanic, they call them immigrants, so nobody really wants to help them, And if you go back to the black, and why don't the blacks team up with the American Indians? Well, the American Indians were persecuted by the blacks. The blacks had military units called Buffalo Soldiers. They rode in the U.S. Cavalry. They did more of the day-to-day chasing and shooting and carrying on. The small battles and skirmishes and trying to chase down the outlaw Indians. And the white people did. The white guys got their ass kicked. Just because the white guys got their ass kicked at Little Bighorn doesn't mean anything. The Indians got massacred with wounded knee, and it was a genocide. And that's the other stupid thing we do. We sit around and we accuse countries of genocide. What genocide is simply trying to get rid of an ethnic group, and we've done that. Okay? This country's been divided since the 1800s on the issues of black and white and equality and everything else. It gets that kind of equality gets pushed aside every once in a while when we talk about women and the inequality there. Then you talk about wealth and the inequality there. I mean, this country's based on inequality. I don't have an answer if that's what you're waiting for. I'm not going to sit down and tell you, the only thing I can tell you is that we can't survive without each other. To think that you can survive in a country that's all white, first of all, that would never happen. They tried it in South Africa, it didn't work. White people went, British and Dutch, I think, and somebody else went over there and colonized it, and it didn't work out real well for them, They were constantly at war. Revolution was constant. Eventually, they gave up, and they were fortunate. They got a great leader, black or white, whatever you want to call him, Mandela. They developed a great leader out of that. Unfortunately, the spokespeople is what the blacks have. They don't have great leaders. The white people don't have any great leaders right now. You had Obama, you missed your calling on Colin Powell. I think he would have been a fairly good president, but he's smart enough to stay away from that kind of stuff, I don't know what's the solution to any of these problems, but I know it's not going to get any better. Not so long as you have the Republican Party in charge, and you have a party that for some strange reason is racist. They don't understand that, they consider racism is kind of strange because people consider the people we're talking about, whether it's Indians, Latinos, or whatever, they talk to them about being inferior, and there's been a whole lot of great inventions brought to us by black people. Indian people have brought us culture that is in art that is some of the most beautiful in the world. But yet, white people look down upon them. I've been to an Indian reservation. It was out when I went out to the Grand Canyon. I ran into the Navajos out there. I wasn't overly impressed by them, but I've met several Indians since then. I've met Apache, a Sioux, but they're what do you want to call them, Americanized, and young people that came here went to college on the East Coast, and they no longer get themselves involved too much. It's sort of like the 60s stuff that went on during the draft. All those kids that marched and everything now are part of mainstream society. They're not liberal, trust me. A good portion of them are screaming for the police to shoot people. It's all in our genes or something. We're just we're a self-destructive people. I've said that before. I've read articles about that. That if we were truly being spied upon by aliens from another galaxy or whatever, do you think they want anything to do with us? We are a self-destructive country. Not country. We're self-destructive. Humans are self-destructive. They don't care two shits about anything, except themselves. Everything we do is done to destroy the environment or everything and something else. Destroy each other. We do it emotionally. We do it physically. We do it abstractly. I say a lot, don't I? I'm listening to myself as I'm talking to you, and I'm finding out that I'm beginning to sound like a truly wandering old man. But to do anything about racism, would be a wonderful thing. Everybody thought things were going to get done after the '68 riots. Well, my experience was I was in the National Guard. All I saw in there was we got riot control training. Crowd control training was the big thing. We were no longer worried about going over to Vietnam. We were worried about crowd control. Now, that's the part of the problem the police have now is that they're not trained as intensely as they were in crowd control. They're trained to look for terrorists. They're trained to react in a violent way because of terrorism, because of 9/11. I don't think it's going to change around again either. But as I said, that the defunding of the police department that everybody's cheering about is not a good thing. Trump is going to use that to say that that you want anarchy. Liberals want anarchy. That's another thing. I get really pissed off about besides the race issues and whatnot. It's liberal conservative. I have an opinion. I don't classify myself liberal. I don't classify myself as conservative. There are some issues that I think should go one way, and some issues should go another way. It's just like I'm neither a Republican or a Democrat. I vote for the way I perceive that individual. That's what I said to you. The last presidential election. I knew Trump was going to win, but so I kind of supported Hillary because of that. But I didn't think Hillary was going to be much better. And Biden's smart. He'll get it because Biden's doing something smart. He's going to put an intellectual female in as vice president because he understands something. He's not going to live long enough to fulfill his term. Okay? He may not come out of it mentally capable to fulfill his term. And he's got some brains on him, you know. I don't think he's as liberal as that they portrayed Obama to be, and I don't think Obama's that liberal. I think in great many ways, Obama's conservative. You know, he was labeled a liberal because he was black. That's the end of it. You know, you have to earn that conservative label by being a complete asshole, and he wasn't, so he didn't earn any, and he didn't get to be a liberal. Well, I've run my 11 minutes or so now, and that's usually when my mind starts to wander, my voice starts to go and everything. It was good talking to you again. We'll see you in a couple days. Take care.